Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we are going to be looking at a relatively new release, and that is Stay Frosty by Andrew Frost and Vanishing Ink. In a moment we're going to roll the intro, but I do want to say thank you for everyone that stuck around even though I haven't been uploading videos. Recently I have been busy with magic shows and a theater show that I usually do in the month of October, so I haven't been able to upload, but hopefully moving forward I'll still be able to do around 2 or 3 videos a week like per usual. So hopefully we'll get back on that grind and I'll keep posting content for you, and I'll also try not only do reviews. We'll see how that goes and what I decide to do in the future. But thank you all for sticking around. Let's roll the intro and dive into Stay Frosty. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Stay Frosty. So what is Stay Frosty? It's essentially a video download of card magic that will go into a ton of moves, a ton of routines, and a ton of effects that you could do with the principles, the methods, the moves, and the concepts taught to you. Now, as always, I do like performing tricks for you, but I do think sometimes it is better, especially in really meaty products and downloads, to rather dissect everything that you get and tell you a bit about it rather than performing an effect and then just skimming through the rest. So what we're going to do is I'll tell you exactly what you get in this download. So you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 magic effects, and then you're also going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 card moves that also are slash effects. So one of them that you get is an effect where you give some piles of decks to shuffle, and afterwards the cards are reassembled. The spectator chooses which packs to put face up, face down, and at the end you can reveal a phone number, a pin code, anything that you have peeked or that you know before, and it's like a triumph, but essentially instead of having, the deck come face down or face up except one card, it's the entire series of cards that you want to produce. Then you also have an effect where it's a multi-phase routine where you essentially find a card over and over again. You're then going to have an ace routine. There's a few of them. We're going to get through those in a moment, where you tell the spec that you're going to have 4 aces, you place them to the side, you produce them, then you ask them to name any 4 of a kind, and then magically the 4 aces turn into the 4 of a kind that they named. You then get an assembled routine. It's essentially, it's teaching the spectator how to cheat at cards, and through the routine you kind of throw some magical moments in there. Then you have a spelling routine that you could do where it's the classic where they spell out a card but with some twists and turns that make it a bit different to the ones that you are used to. Then you have, in my opinion, the best routine. It's a very clean 2-card transpo. A person names a card and a person chooses a card, and the card switch places in their hands. Then you're going to get a really fun and easy way to produce the 4 aces. So you mix the deck, the spectator says stop every single time, and then you'll be able to produce the 4 aces. And then you're also going to get another routine which is fun, is you have a spectator essentially stop you at a card, you then show the card, you take it, you pretend you take it, you vanish it, you then pretend to throw it in the deck, the card vanishes, and then it's in the deck facing the opposite way. That's another routine that you're going to get. Then you're also going to get a bunch of moves. You're going to get a very deceptive card switch. You're going to get a vanish of a card. That's the one that you use during the routine that I just told you about. You're going to get a wash control, which is incredibly deceptive. So when you wash cards on the table, you're going to get a kind of sloppy riffle shuffle control that he's going to teach you as well. You're going to get a perfect control, which is going to teach you how to bring any card that you want to the top of the deck. That is an amazing move. I love that move, and I've started using it in more and more routines. It's a deceptive and easy way to get any card to the top of the deck without anyone ever noticing. Then you're going to learn a card to box using that control. Then he's going to teach you a false cut. It's a very interesting false cut. Then the cover pass, the turnover pass, and then he's also going to go over the Hoffinser force, so the classic force that you may know. He goes over some steps for you that may be helpful in improving that move. That's everything that you get with your download. So where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get? So you can buy this directly from Vanishing Ink exclusively. It's going to set you back 35 USD. But if you're watching this around holiday time, it is at 17 USD right now because of the Black Friday sale. And what you get is a video download explaining to you all of the routines and all of the moves that I've just covered. It's all dissected into chapters. It all has live performances. Is shot expertly well, it's explained expertly well. It's just a very beautiful and well done download to watch and to experience. So now that we know what you are getting, let's talk about difficulty. So what is the difficulty of these effects? Well, some of them are a bit difficult and some of them are a bit easy, but even the easy effects do still require a bit of good mastery of card magic. Some of them could be done by a beginner if you know how to do a very convincing double lift. But even then, I feel because of the psychology and the routining, it does require a bit more than a beginner level to understand and to do these type of effects. But I would say just in the middle between beginner and intermediate is the difficulty that you'll be aiming here. There's a lot of double lifts, as you said, there's, as I said with the moves, there's passes, there's vanishing cards, there's lapping, there's kind of palming. There's a ton of principles here. So yes, the routines are relatively easy. Some of them have a setup, some of them don't. But overall, I'd still not say this is beginner friendly, nor necessarily intermediate. I'd say in between the two. If you've been doing card magic for a bit, you'll be able to do the effects in this download. Moving on now to practicality. So practicality wise, this has some positives and negatives. Overall, this doesn't use any specific gimmicks. So all you need is a deck of cards. There is one of the routines that requires you to have something extra, but that's something you all have at home and don't need to buy. It's not even a gimmick. But yeah, so overall, in terms of carrying capacity, your normal deck and you're good to go. However, I do have to say that a deck is good, but you will also need a table for some of the routines. Some routines do not need a table, some can be done standing up, some can be done standing up with a table, but some of them will require you to be seated at a table because of the structure, the routining, and the moves that are being used. So you do have to keep in mind that some of the routines will require you to be at a tabled seating kind of scenario in order to perform the effects that you have here, okay? In terms of angles, there's a ton of effects. Some of them have very good angles, 360, some of them are more 180. In terms of reset, some of the tricks do have a setup, as I said, so the reset will be longer. Some of them are instant reset. In terms of inspectability, all of the routines are technically inspectable because, as I said, there's no gimmicks involved here. So the deck can be inspected, shuffled, used by the spectator. That is of no issue whatsoever. So now that we know that, let's talk about where do you perform. So where would you perform these effects? These effects, if you're someone that has a tabled show venue, you could literally build your entire show from this. You just build your set around this, around the effects here, and you will have an A+ set that will floor your audiences. But for those that don't have those type of settings, some of the effects can be performed, as I said, standing up, table to table, restaurant work, anywhere like that, mix and mingle. Some of these effects, especially some of the best ones like the 2-card transpo, can be done pretty much anywhere, anytime. Same for the, triumph, whether you're seated or standing up, as long as you can riffle shuffle the cards, you're good. If you can do it in your hands, you can even do that effect in your hands. So it's very adaptable. The routines are adaptable to your performing environment. So now that we know that, what are the positives and negatives of Stay Frosty? And as always, let's start with the negatives. So one of the negatives that you can have with Stay Frosty is that you will also learn kind of the moves and the routines in different ways. And what I mean by this is that sometimes he explains to you the routine and after the move, or there's some kind of like the moves are kind of a separate section by their own, kind of shadowing what you have with the Unreal Card Magic, where kind of when he explains the routines, he just goes over the bare bones routine and you have to refer to the move first. But one of the negatives is that some of the routines do use specific moves that kind of you need that move to do the routine. So if you're not comfortable doing that move, or you're not good at that move, or you don't like that move, you'll have to change the routine based on your own style, personality, and preferred moves, and see if you can do it as clean and as good as he does it. And as I said, another negative is that for some effects, you do need a table because you will be lapping some cards or, you know, vanishing some cards, if you want to call that, so that it's important to know. In terms of positives, you are getting a ton of content for your money. There's no gimmicks involved. It's the normal deck. The routines are practical. They're pretty easy to do. They're fooling routines. They're fun routines. They're pretty unique routines as well with cards. You can also chain some of the routines together to create kind of a mini act, which is also nice. And the moves that you learn here are not just available for these routines. Once you learn the moves and the subtleties, you can apply those to other routines to make some of the moves that you use in other routines easier with the moves that you have learned here, which is definitely a bonus. So now that we know everything that there is about Stay Frosty, would I recommend this and what do I give it out of 10? I think that if you like card magic and you're looking for some new kind of rejuvenated and fun card magic that you can do, I think you will definitely not be disappointed with this download. It is extremely good and extremely fun to go through. So I definitely recommend Stay Frosty. I'm giving Stay Frosty an 8.5 on 10. The transport routine is fantastic and it's something that I'm going to be performing. So that is all I have to say about Stay Frosty. Thank you everyone for watching and I hope to see you in my next review. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If not, like and subscribe and I'll see you all in my next reviews. Have a good one and bye.